Greetings, family. Peace and love, bliss, peace, love. I am recording my very first video of 2021. I knew that I wanted to begin recording videos and really sharing my journey, my vulnerable, raw self, removing the masks, quite literally, throwing those away, and being able to share just my authentic self. And I didn't know, what this first video was going to be about. I didn't know where I would be, when it would cultivate itself. But today I had the most magical connection made with my star seeded family that's here on the earth plane. On Sundays, on sacred Sundays, go out into the earth to do some healing work with the earth, for the collective. And today I came to a new location that is just the most glorious. Let me see if I could flip this around. Can I? Not sure if I can. Look at that. Woo-wee. The magic, pure magic. So I'm sitting here in my teepee that was created for me and for those that come to this place. And there was a man that I saw on my path earlier when I was taking in the water, the leaves, the plants. The rain had just fallen, and everything was fresh and cleansed, and the droplets on the plants were so beautiful. I was just taking in the moments, and I saw a man going down to the water, and there's really no one here. And I came down here and started just really taking in the ocean, just the sand spirit, the wind spirit, the plants that were just blowing so beautifully, and I was really just being present in a meditative state. And I look up, and this man that I saw earlier had just gotten out of the ocean. And it's not very frequent that I find others. I shouldn't say that. It is frequent. It is frequent that I find others on my path, on my journey, that dive into the ocean like I do. Every time I come to the ocean, am called to submerge, to surrender, to jump into the source, to jump into the womb, and just let go and become one with source, light, love, light, all that we are. And so as this man, and he was maybe in his 70s, he runs 2 miles. He comes here every single day. His name is Joe. And he is my family. He is my family. I felt it in our beings. And he comes here every single day. And he said, I started coming here every day about a year ago when all the pandemic hit. And I was feeling nervous and depressed and anxious. And he said, I came here and I remembered that I used to do this, and it used to feed my soul. And he just started talking my language. And I was like, whoa. I was just instantly nourished. I felt my whole soul felt like seen. And he said, when I jump into the ocean, I visualize myself submerging in he called it the golden luminescence. And I said, yes, source, the golden light. And he said, yes. I jump in every single day. And I said, well, I asked him, I said, how has your life differed from prior to coming here every day and jumping into the womb? I said, it's the womb, right? It's source. And he said, yeah. I said, how is it different? He said, I don't have any anxiety. I don't have depression. He said, if I go, sometimes there's hours when I feel a little bit, but if I come here, he said, I'm resurrected every time. time. Oh, I was just bathing in this. You guys, these were the codes. He was speaking codes, light codes into my being. And I said, wow, Joe, we are reflections of one another. And he told me about this time he had this experience when he was, years ago when he was living in Chicago, which is where Siam's dad is from. So I always find these synchronicities. And he had this meeting with God, with Source. He said there was this, I was not on drugs. He said I just was in my apartment and my old time friend had just came in and he poked his head around the corner of the wall. And he said everything stopped and this light, this golden light came in and it just took over the entire space. He said I was no longer Joe. I wasn't present. He said we were the omnipresent. The only thing I could see was my childhood friend, his eyes. Everything else was light. And he said, I don't know how long it lasted, but time stopped and I had this moment and I knew God. I knew Source. He said there was no drugs involved. He said there was nothing. It was just this he wasn't meditating at the time. None of that. He just had this moment, clarity of the Source. You guys, I felt so energized by his expression. I was like crying. Literally, my eyes were watering and I was like, wow. And we just reflected back to each other what we are on this earth plane right now and how we are these seeds, these star seeds of light, and how our mission is so important. And he went on to tell me he had a dream 2 nights ago that he died. And he said, I came across this spirit and the spirit told me, you have to go back to your life. Your life is not done yet. And he said, I was so upset. I wanted to stay there in that beautiful light. He said, I remember that light and I just felt it. I felt so nourished and loved and nurtured. And he said, I had to go back. And I said, yes. I said, Joe, you have a mission to fulfill. You're here for on a huge purpose. And he said, thank you. You're right. And I said, do you share your light with people? And he said, I write a lot. And I said, that's so amazing. And he used to be a therapist. And he used to share the divine light with people on his journey as a therapist. And I was like, wow. I was so just amazed, you guys. I was just like, this is one of the most beautiful moments. And I've had these moments with people on my path, on my journey, when I'm aligned. When I follow my heart, when I'm just magnetized from my heart space, when I literally follow my intuition. My intuition led me to this specific place on the coast of California. And I just follow that. I follow the intuition. I follow the heart space. And she always guides me home. She always guides us home. And I came here and had that experience, and it was just a huge affirmation of like, surrender and follow that inner guidance. Quiet yourself, quiet the mind. Did you hear that? Quiet the mind so you can hear your heart speak. And I know it could sound silly and it could sound cliche and kind of woo-woo, whatever. But if you really just do it, you'll experience it, and then you'll be like, wow, it's real. People aren't just saying this, and it's not like it's out of reach. It's there for you at any time. And that's what Joe was saying. And we were both like going back and forth about how the omnipresent, the golden, that illuminescence is always present here for us, always. It's always here. We just have to get out of its way. Joe said we have to just get out of its way. We can choose the light at any time. We get to choose the light at any time. So Joe inspired me. I'm gonna go jump and surrender and dive into these waves. It's probably about 49 degrees out here. But my spirit led me here, and as soon as I stepped foot on the sand, I knew I was going to get in the water. And then Joe just affirmed it even further. I love you guys. My phone is on 10%. This is a divine time to speak, express, activate the throat. I'm so happy this was my very first video. And welcome to this part of my journey. I hope to inspire, to ignite, to remind you of your light, for us to remind each other that we are reflections of one another. And I just literally met my soul family out here. Like, this was who, you can't plan this stuff. You can't plan this stuff. It's just staying in your alignment. So one more time, let me show you. Look at the sky. Look it up here. Ooh. Ooh. My teepee. Alright, y'all. I love you guys. Peace and love to you all.